Hey everyone, God bless you. Thanks a lot for tuning in. I have a reflection for you today that I have prepared entitled Ugly Girls? Question mark. This reflection is based on the horrifying reality of the impact of Instagram, particularly and social media in general, on young women and girls. Lots of data has come out. Books have been written about the impact in a multiplicity of ways on young women from the reality in these last 10 to 12 years, particularly of social media and Instagram in particular. I read data this week from an article from Harvard's Chan School of Public Health that was categorizing and kind of updating stats with regards to the impact of Instagram on the health, bodily and mental health, spiritual health of young women. In fact, this whole fixation that we have today with presentation on social media, so many young people are beginning their lives of courtship, their initial touch by through digital apps, looking for partners presented on social media platforms. It's had a tremendous impact, and most of it has been horrifically negative. Let me read you just a few of the major areas that are deeply troubling. A focus on dissatisfaction with bodily image, what's sometimes called appearance anxiety, has spiked amongst women. The altered kind of best presentation, digital presentation that women make has raised a perfection bar that has led to self-condemnation in so many women's lives, dissatisfaction. It has produced a spike in eating disorders, depression and anxiety, suicidal tendencies and thoughts, ideation, self-comparison, an intense fixation on comparison, an internalized, rather perverse concept of the ideal being exceedingly thin, and has promoted a radical increase in cosmetic surgery, altering in order to physically altering through surgery one's presentation. This is not news to anybody who's been watching and thinking about these matters for some time, but it's not getting better. It is, in fact, continuing to get worse, which is greatly concerning. In the male sphere, of course, this also leads to many, many temptations for men to objectify women worse than we already do, and to develop standards and expectations that are completely fantasy and unreal, and to miss authentic life and the real glory of male-female relationships, especially the significance from God of developing a love interest and cultivating a partner that you can marry and build a life with before the face of God. I would like to bring to you a few words about this reality from a recent great elder of the church, Father Arsenie Papachok. Father Arsenie fell asleep in the Lord in 1997. He suffered for years. I think he spent over 14 years in communist prisons in Romania. An incredible man, incredible athlete before he became a monk and a priest, and then became a spiritual athlete of immense proportion. His life is available now in English. There's a beautiful book, Eternity in the Moment. This is a small book not too long ago published of his teachings. Every sigh can be a prayer. I have been really edified by reading it. Excuse me. And I'd like to read you three words from Father Arsenie Papachok about appreciating women and not objectifying them respecting them and being careful about what we think about their beauty or lack thereof. All right? So open your heart, if you would, for a moment to 3 edifying words about the beauty of women from the great elder Arsenie Papachok. His first word that I've highlighted here for you is not to play around in dating, but to be intentional. Date for the right reason. This is point 1. He says, there is a trend which has become the norm to have a lover. But now he's not called a lover, because that is too obvious. When someone takes a lover, they're just, right, they're accommodating their carnal desire, and it's not a godly thing. So he says, but now they're not called lovers, they're called boyfriends or girlfriends. I like that so much, this invented, made-up dating since the sexual revolution. He's just calling what it is. You're taking a lover. This is a pretense, he says. There can't be friendships between young men and women, only love. You shouldn't have a relationship with a girl only because you desire to have a friendship. Rather, you should do so in order to get married. That's point number 1 from the great elder. Now, if you have followed PNP for any amount of time, especially if you have viewed my vlog, Orthodox Dating 101, you'll know that I have articulated as the very, very first rule of traditional Christian courtship that we don't play around with dating. We don't take boyfriends and girlfriends as soon as we recognize and discern an interest in the opposite sex. That doesn't mean you should do anything about that interest until you can do what God intends you to do, which is court to wed. We date to marry, and if you're not prepared to get married, you have 100% no business dating anyone for any reason. We don't take lovers. It's a pretense, the great Father Arsenie says. There can't be friendships between young men and women who are interested in each other. That's just not how it works. To think so just shows the ignorance of human nature that the person has who's thinking that. So this is point number 1. Don't play around with dating. We date to get married. I myself, in my pastorate for all of these years, I have spent so much time and effort, what shall I say, putting out little fires. And I don't mean fires of conflict. Of course, priests do that too. I once had on my wall, when I came to my parish 27 years ago, to this parish, and it was in an industrial park. We were a little mission in an industrial park. I had a small kind of front office where I set up shop for my office work. And I put a picture on the wall of the retirement of a fireboat down in the Newport Beach Harbor. And on the retirement of the fireboat, it was blowing off all its cannons in every direction. So it had about 8 or 10 cannons, and they were all blowing water. And I put it on the wall because in my at that time, I had maybe been a priest for 5 years. And at that time, I already knew that a core aspect of pastoring is putting out fires constantly, everywhere, because the devils are always trying to start fires of judgment, fires of criticism, fires of immorality. This is how the devils work. And the priests are always bringing a lovely word or a calming influence or sometimes a rebuke in order to blow those flames out. And it also applies directly to blowing out the fires, the untimely fires that start especially amongst teenagers. Youth groups are often places where little fires, it's a natural, understandable reality, but often out of place. Teenagers have no business dating whatsoever. They cannot do anything with their desire except become slaves to it and fall into sin and damage their potential for a God-honoring marriage and relationship in the future. Father Arsenie is saying, don't play around. Don't pretend you can be friends with a member of the opposite sex that you're attracted to when you're a teenager. Maybe if you're a late teen and you're mature and you're ready to go in life, that's a different story. That's point 1. Number 2, respect women. This principle will go very far to putting Instagram modeling out of business. This is the word of Father Arsenie. The flower is in the vase. The young man has to go and choose it. The girl shouldn't wander off into his path. He should be the one to find her. Furthermore, you should greatly respect the woman. She's an extraordinary creation of God. Isn't that the truth? She's an extraordinary creation of God. Can you imagine her ability to snatch you from the pit? Wow, what a text. Man is motivated to work, to win battles, to solve his issues by knowing that at home he finds real love. This bond is a great mystery that imprints joy in their souls. Intimate relations remain insignificant in comparison with these joys. Understand that the woman is not simple-minded. Even if she is not learned, she has an extraordinary insight and is more realistic than the man. Today, she already senses the things of tomorrow, but we discuss and rationalize some things while there is nothing rational in love. The woman has to be respected. Firstly, because a woman is our champion leader in the kingdom of God, the mother of God. You are in awe and tremble trying to compare her with mankind. So this is the second beautiful word from Father Arsenie. Number one, don't play around with dating. If you're not ready to wed, don't start it. Number two, respect women. Respect women. Recognize they're an extraordinary creation of God, absolutely unique. And third, there are no ugly women. Get that through your head, young men. There are no ugly women. Listen to the great elder, Arsenie. There are no ugly women. Women are like flowers. All are beautiful, each one in her own way. A man has to bow down and take her. He has to be gracious and respectful toward her. The flower then reveals its hidden fragrance and qualities because he knew to search the depths, which brings forth unfathomable truths. And then he tells this beautiful story. This will make you laugh a lot. A young college graduate came to me lamenting, having been offended by her boyfriend. He had told her that she was ugly. What kind of, I replied, he greatly offended you. Never see him again. Can you imagine? This was the counsel of the great elder to his spiritual daughter, whose boyfriend had called her ugly. He knew that a boyfriend who would call his girlfriend ugly was a lowlife, an absolute lowlife, and she should have nothing to do with him. That's a recipe for a life of misery. He has greatly offended you. Have never see him again. Dump him. Still caring for him, she precisely conveyed the message to him of the great elder. God bless her for that. Then both of them came to my cell. He had come to ask forgiveness for offending my spiritual daughter. The woman has to be respected. Can you imagine? What a text. What a text. The spiritual father brought the man to his senses, never to think that way, never to speak that way. Don't look at any woman fashioned by God and say to yourself, she's ugly. No. How dare we think such a thing? Instead, offer respect. Offer respect. And remember, every woman is a flower, and her beauty can and will be revealed, especially by those who have eyes and the calling to find it and see it. Honor every human being. This is an advice, a true, pure Christian disposition that can greatly cure all of the misery and diseases that have been promoted by Instagram and social media presentation, especially to reverse the damage that has been done to so many young women. May God bless them all, and may He help us to discern beauty and His handiwork everywhere. God be with you.